Wait for some of y'all to come in. For the people who's going to be watching this video after it gets posted, I just got red flagged on Google. What I mean by that is, we all saw the video of soon-to-be President Trump assassination attempt. Well, I noticed the weapon systems that the Secret Service or police or whoever was using behind Trump that took out crooks. So I Googled what weapon system they were using because I didn't recognize it. And as soon as I did that, I get a little pop-up on the side saying that my Google search has been flagged and sent to Secret Service. So now they're hiding truth even about what they were using. And I don't know if y'all realize this, but apparently Biden has been interfering with that investigation. I don't know who's here, but welcome. I saw you pop in. I'm pretty sure you got the little bit of the gist of what I'm talking about. This is getting ridiculous, guys. One, should never have been shot at. Two, I believe it's fault by making that quote that was publicized well before his speech, where it stated, well, we need to stop talking about the debate because obviously he absolutely failed on it, and put Trump in the bullseye. One of his constituents took that shit quite literally and tried to assassinate Donald Trump. They're screaming and hollering because he bought 50 rounds of ammunition, and obviously they have no idea of anything about ammunition or weapons or any of that stuff. 50 rounds is one box of ammunition, one box, which is between $25 to $50, just one box. So I saw a weapon system I did not recognize being used either by the Secret Service or the police that was behind Donald Trump on that other roof. So I Googled it. What weapon system did they use to take down crooks? And I get flagged for trying to know the truth. It was a simple Google search, harmless Google search, because I didn't recognize the weapon system. I've never seen it before, and I want to know what it is. It did look AR-15-ish, as they like to put it. But it didn't have a huge magazine well, which was quite surprising to me. I'm suspecting it was an AR-15 style rifle. Maybe it was a 30-30, I don't know. But the magazine well was bigger than a normal AR-15 style rifle, which uses similar rifling rounds as the military, which is a 5.56. But because I Google searched something and I wanted to learn something new, I've been flagged. So I'm kind of suspecting, I doubt it would, but if it does happen, I will upload the video of Secret Service coming to my damn door. Because I don't know if y'all are aware of this, but now Secret Service is going knocking on people's doors of the violent threats they have made towards Donald Trump on Twitter after the assassination, which they should have been doing that from the get-go because that's a violent threat. So if anybody's got anything to say, because I see there's 5 of y'all in here, I have the chats open if y'all want to ask questions or whatever or discuss this. And normally I don't do political stuff, but this shit's got to stop. The political violence, using the judicial system to get their way. I don't know if y'all are aware of this, but Supreme Court ruled that Trump did have presidential immunity, which we all know he did. It's reason why Clinton didn't get in trouble for fornicating with whoever that woman was. I was too young to kind of remember what the hell was going on. So in response, President Biden is talking about putting term limits on the Supreme Court justices, which in the Constitution says, what's going on, blind justice, which the Constitution clearly states that they have a life term. And the reason why they have a life term is so their decisions don't get overturned every few years. If he wants to put a term or try to put a term on the Supreme Court justices, it should be no less than 50 years, because that way the law stays the law for a while. And then on top of that, he wants to get rid of presidential immunity. Him being not all in the head, which we all saw on the presidential debate. Now, what does he think is going to happen to him since he ain't got presidential immunity? If he get rid of presidential immunity, that means he loses it, and that means the Senate and Congress and police and mayors, everybody down the line should lose it too. Because if the president can't have absolute immunity, nobody can. But this is straight disheartening that I want to do a simple Google search to find out what rifles that I saw the police or Secret Service was using in that altercation, because I never saw it before, and want to educate myself on different weapon systems, because I'm planning on getting a pardon so I can get my Second Amendment right. And I really want to repair, fix, or alter guns specifying by my customers. That's what I really want to do. And I can't do that if I don't know what weapon systems is being handed to me. And I get red flagged for it. It's messed up. And I'm not saying how I found this out, but congrats on Blind Justice. I heard they're willing to settle your case in North Carolina. I appreciate that. It's the first step of resolving you of unconstitutional charges. Because honestly, passengers don't have to ID anyways. And hell, you're blind, dude. It's not like you get to pick and choose where the driver stops to play Pokemon Go, let alone that church registered with Pokemon Go to put something on their area. Yeah, you can call your legal advisor. He said something about them willing to settle. I don't know what's 100% of the accuracy of what I'm saying. Maybe he misconstrued it. I don't know. But you of all people who's a vet understands my wanting to understand different weapon systems. Hell, I can Google the A10 Warthog. Well, talk to him, because he said something about them settling, and he'll be able to handle my case here pretty soon. Yeah, my arrest that I had in Greenville, supposedly using unauthorized communications, which all the communications I had was trying to figure out why my mom wasn't released by the state law. And they wanted me to accept one of the charges and they were willing to drop the other one. It was my choice. And I was saying, like, well, if you want me to, that just let me know you ain't got shit. And it's been over 2 years since that arrest, and I haven't even been to court for it yet. But give him a call, see what's going on, because maybe I misunderstood him, or maybe he misunderstood them. I'm not quite sure. He wasn't giving me full details. He was just letting me know, giving a lowdown. You're correct. You're right. It is a kidnapping. You're right. You are right about that. Thanks for enlightening me, Line Justice. But I want to pursue a career in weapon systems. And yet, I can't even do a search on weapon systems. I'm pretty sure some of us have seen the video of the guy who actually adjusts weapon systems for SEAL Team 6 and Naval SEALs and, you know, the special operations people. And ATF come to his place of business talking about, hey, we noticed that you had some force reset triggers. If you turn them over to us, we won't say anything, and blah, 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 which they couldn't do in the first place. He let them know that, hey, I'm doing weapon systems for the government. And if the government wants fucking force reset triggers, who are you to say? But now anything you search pertaining the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, I guarantee you, if you use the right words, you'll get a little red message bubble off in your right hand corner of the Google search screen saying that your search has been flagged. And it is red to catch your attention. If you don't believe me, you can use this exact wording like I did. What rifle did SS use to take down crooks? That was my exact wordings. Not what crooks used, because I guarantee you they're going to say it was an AR-15. And it's egregious. It really is. That now, if we want knowledge of what's going on with this investigation, we get red flagged. Because they're not giving us any information. They're saying they searched his IP address, his hard drive, his everything. They searched everything about this guy already. And they say they found no credible evidence that he was making plans. He didn't leave no manifesto. He didn't leave any of the normal telltale signs of people who's about to do what he's about to do. And that's wrong. It's BS, and we all know it. Supposedly a week before Trump showed up, he went to a gun range, fired his weapon system once, bought 50 rounds and a 6-foot ladder or 5-foot ladder. I can't remember what they said. They get on top of that roof, and Secret Service is pushing the blame off to the local PD, saying that was their jurisdiction. They were supposed to cover that roof, and it's not my fault or not our fault. Ron Justice served. He had the same training I have, and they told us to cover all roofs. And if nobody has not noticed, but the 2 snipers that was on the roof behind Trump was already looking at that roof. They were angled in that direction before the shots were even fired. When the shots were fired, he flinched. The people in the audience and the local PD noticed the shooter before they did, minutes before he even shot. But since they didn't have a secure line of a radio frequency for everybody there who was under a protection detail, they couldn't tell the Secret Service in time. So whose fault is it? I say it's the Secret Service, because you should already had a range card already established for every possible contingency of high ground that overshot the president. Yeah, I'm saying president because he's most likely going to win. Some of y'all can boo-hoo all you want. And them not covering that roof, and him getting 130 something yards away from the president. The president's lucky the guy was shooting at his head. Because in basic training, 130 yards is a pop shot. I could probably do that blindfolded nowadays. Granted, I haven't touched a weapon system since 2013. But I guarantee you, if I went to any range around here that's over 100 yards, that goes up to 300 yards, and had the time that he did, he had about 5 minutes to get his target and pull a shot. But thank God, like Tom McDonald said, thank God the left missed. Because the right would have rioted. They would have. And we all know it would have happened. They allowed that man to walk. He didn't crawl on the roof. He walked across that roof with a weapon system in hand. And they should have known that there was going to be no police officers on that roof ahead of time. So seeing somebody with a weapon system in their hands walking across the roof, they should have shot first, asked questions later. But no, they didn't. They let it slip through. And like I said, Blind Justice can agree with me that in the military, we have, 3 to 5 seconds to get acquire our targets in the shooting range for a qualification before it dropped back down where we couldn't shoot it no more. 3 to 5 seconds between 100 yards to 200 yards. From 200 yards to 300 yards, it gave us 5 to 7 seconds. And anything past the 300-yard marker, it gave us 7 to 9 seconds to acquire the target and make the shot and hit the target to get our qualifications. Seconds is all it takes to hit a target. Seconds. What the hell? Oh, there's a froggy in the water container. I'll get him out later. But I'm just putting it out there that if you want to know what's going on with the assassination attempt, be careful on your wording, because you're going to get red flagged. Most likely, you'll have Secret Service come to your house, and when they do, or if they do come to my house, best believe I'm not opening that door, because I know, because I ain't stupid. I got cameras all over this yard. I got a front doorbell camera that I can talk through. I got a camera hidden in a tree that I can talk to through. I'm not opening that door. I ain't stupid. So I hope y'all have a blessed day for the rest of the day. Apparently, more information about the assassination attempt is about to pop up in the next 10 minutes or less on the Fox News side. I don't really watch them too often either because, granted, they tell the truth of what's going on with Trump, but then sometimes they lie and take out of proportion what Biden's saying. CNN's doing the opposite with Trump, kicking people off of their news organization because they dared to speak the truth. Most of the time, I go through C-SPAN or any local channels of watching any deliberation of any of the law enforcement or legislatives that we have elected to get the real truth, because nobody's sitting there trying to push their narrative out. And we're watching it unfold in the chambers themselves. So if you want to actually stay informed, hey, motherfucker. Does that look like a trailer to you, bitch? So shut the fuck up, because that's not a trailer. That's a house. That's a stucco house. I don't live in a trailer like you. Plus, doorbell cams can be installed on any structure. Dumb fuck. Yeah, I don't see you fucking say anything now, Alpha 66. You can Alpha 66 your ass out before I 99 Zulu your ass. See? Fucking trolls don't know what they're talking about. Right, Charlie? Call his ass out right off the bat. Fucking stucco house. Which reminds me, I need to get on the roof and sweep those leaves off after that storm. But Alpha 66, since you don't know how a doorbell cam works, if I wanted to, Hoss, I can attach it to my damn shed with a doorbell cam. Hell, if you're good enough, know how to run wires in your car, you can attach it to your car. Oh, shit. I don't know why they assume everybody's a damn trailer. Maybe because he sees that back there. That's my neighbor, not mine. That one over there is a neighbor, not mine. I'm in a house that was built in 1982 by my great uncle-in-law for my great grandmother, so she didn't have to walk from the house that used to be behind me. A house still. He built it closer to the road and on the ground on a concrete slab, so she didn't have to go down any steps and she didn't have to walk so far to the mailbox. That's the history on this house. My great grandmother died in that house. And my great uncle Buster also died in that house. He didn't like people. He just stayed inside. He did do some work. I'm not quite sure what his job was. Because the Winton family don't really talk about other people's businesses, which is my grandmother's side of the family. Bless her soul. But I actually stayed in his room, the room he actually died in. It doesn't bother me. He's in a better place. It's not like he's going to come and visit me. I don't believe in ghosts. All these ghosts that everyone sees on TV are technically demons, not ghosts. Don't believe me? Read the Bible. Sorry, I got off track. with that because some dumbass wants to get on here and try to tell me what the hell I live in and don't even know me. Because, like I said, he saw that damn trailer in the back and assumed it was mine. But I'm pretty sure there's a doorbell on that. Yeah, look, I can see from here. There's a doorbell on that one, too. Hell, he's got cameras on his house, too. Because last 4th of July, so they came over here and asked us about it, and we didn't have cameras yet. And as soon as that happened, we got cameras, he got cameras. And this 4th of July, we had a pretty good storm. And they were gone again for 4th of July, and one of our limbs failed and hit his fence. And of course, we tried to fix the fence the best we could of the materials that we had. It's a chain link fence. We adjusted his pole, hammered it down, and reattached the fence to it. The fence is still kind of bent-ish. The limb, I don't know if y'all can see it, it's still laying in the ground. I'm still working on it because of my disability. It takes me a while to go through it. So I made a joke about them always leaving on 4th of July, and stuff is always happening to them. Well, while I was cutting the limb off of the fence, because the fence was trying to go up and the limb's trying to go down, I wasn't expecting the limb to twist, and one of the limbs that I've already got cut now spring forward and hit me dead in my back. And that's my disability. I have degenerative disc disease, and it took me out for like 3 days. I couldn't get out of bed for like 3 days. But other than that, I'm okay. Still a little stiff, but other than that, I'm doing all right. Blind Justice, if you're still on, much love to you, Hoss. I'm still praying for you, and just knowing that a town went against you, it still brings tears to my eyes, Hoss. I can't stand when I watch online all these people just straight disrespectful to veterans who gave their life for their freedoms to say what they're saying. I wasn't lucky enough to go overseas and serve my country before my back went out. But by the military standards, I'm supposed to be a disabled vet. Because I was hurt in active duty. It's just saddening to know that my childhood dream got shot down by simply picking up 2 gravel rocks to put back in the walkway out of the flower bed area at the end of my training career. As soon as I got done with my training, I was an AIT and I was waiting for transport back to my unit in Virginia. Back in the day, it was called Fort Pickett, but they changed the name to something else. I don't know what it is. I never really looked into it. I don't know why they changed the name of a base. It makes no sense. It's been Fort Pickett for God knows how long. And as soon as I got to my unit injured, they just tossed me on the rug and told me it's my responsibility to get stuff done. When I called the TRICARE and they said no, it's supposed to be your medical sergeant who's supposed to get it done. So I was in a rough place, couldn't work because I was a reservist. I couldn't work. Kept telling them that, hey, can y'all help me find a job that pertains around my MOS, so I already know what I'm doing, so I don't lose my house, don't lose my cars, don't lose everything. And Sergeant Gibbs pretty much laughed at me and didn't give a damn, and I ended up being homeless for a while until I slowly made my way to Texas, where my brother Terry was at. He was in Copperas Cove, Texas. He also was military. He was a tank driver, tank operator, excuse me. He had his ankle shattered in overseas. He kind of walks normal now, but I can tell his gait is off from when I remembered him when I was 16. So almost every generation of my family has served in the military. And my stepson wants to join the Marines. I'm trying to talk him out of the Marines because, you know, don't get me wrong, they're hard asses. They're cool. Don't get me wrong. They know what the fuck they're doing, but they just don't treat their soldiers properly. Because my foster brother, he was in the Marines, and the last 3 months of his service, because he wasn't going to renew, which they had him in a condemned building, living quarters in a condemned building. And he also told me every time they was on a Army base, Air Force base, or naval base, they actually took money out of his check because they were living above their means. So that's the main reason why I don't want my son to go to the Marines, because I don't want him to be mistreated like he did, because he refused to re-enlist. And actually, I've been talking to him either go to the Navy or the Air Force. Don't get me wrong, the Army has pilots and we don't have boats. But I'd rather him be Air Force or Navy, because they treat their soldiers absolutely wonderful. Hell, I remember some Air Force people doing some training with us in Fort Gordon, and they're telling me that they was actually getting a pay raise because it was living below their means on an Army base. Between my experience and the Marines experience that my foster brothers has, I just don't want him going to the Army or Marines, but it's still his choice. It's always his choice. He is 13 now. God's sakes, he's getting old. I will say this though, I will not sign the paperwork for him to join the military at the age of 17 like I did. I just ain't going to do it. He's going to have to be a full-fledged adult before he does that. I'm thinking about changing my channel from just regular journalism to also inform y'all what's going on with the Second Amendment around the country. The Rahimi case, of course, got shot down because he was a very violent person, which we all knew was going to happen. But the Supreme Court did say the law on its face of what they're using with domestic violence was technically unconstitutional, but as it pertained to Rahimi, it wasn't, because he actually had an actual restraining order for domestic violence that he was found guilty of. And some of these domestic violence restraining orders get put in place as mutual things. So when people get divorces, you will get these restraining orders on both sides. And with this restraining order, technically, by how the law was written, you lose your Second Amendment rights, even though you actually done nothing wrong. It's just the judge just put it there to keep everybody in line after the court case. And now there's another one that's getting recited in the 9th District, who was a non-violent felon, and they wouldn't go pull him over, and he tosses the gun out the window, and he had a blue-collar crime, When not blue collar, white collar crime. He lied on the food stamp application to get food stamps. So they took his Second Amendment away for that because the money he received through food stamps exceeded the misdemeanor part of the crime and exceeded into the felony crime, which is what happened to me. Mine charge is technically a misdemeanor, but since the damage was to a certain dollar amount, it became a felony. So I'm looking forward to that one. It's going to the 11 en banc panel in the 9th district, and the 3-seat panel said it was unconstitutional what they're doing to them because there's no textual history and laws back during the founding era of the Bill of Rights, which was not 1776, guys. It was 1792 is when the Bill of Rights was written. They're trying to use laws that were enacted before that point, which they can't because it can't go past that point, and it can only go as far as the founding fathers, the last one being alive. During that time frame, which I'm pretty sure, I think it was like 1840s, 1850s, when the last founding father passed. Google it. I can't remember if I'm saying it. If I said wrong, go ahead, let me know. I love learning new shit. But there's a time frame of laws that they're supposed to use, and if there's no identical law in place during that time frame, every other gun law is supposed to be found unconstitutional. And a lot of people don't know this, but yes, the founding fathers did state and made laws against violent people. If they were deemed completely violent, they weren't even allowed to see the light of day. They just spend the rest of their lives in prison. But the people who were violent, but they were only violent for that particular reason. I'm talking about the Shea Rebellion. If you don't know, look it up. The Shea Rebellion, all the people were charged with felonies against the United States, pretty much almost treason. They rebelled against the government. After their sentence was over, they had to pay a surety bond. I think of the time it was like $25 to $50, because back then that was a lot of money, to secure their gun rights back. And if they did not do any more crimes within like 5 or 7 years, I can't really remember off the top of my head, they got their money back. So, and mentally disturbed people was also on that list. So there is president gun laws back in the day. But like I said, it was for the violent people, like mass murderers and serial killers and shit like that. But honestly, if you take you can make all the laws you want. Criminals ain't gonna follow them. That's what makes them criminals. Damn, how many people talking on my chat today? Maybe because I'm just doing monologues. I don't know. So that's one of the aspects I am going to go with my channel from now on. Every time then realize how much you interact with white coats and those that interact with free people. I'm not quite unsure. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. Because if I think what you're saying is they took guns away from people who didn't pledge allegiance to the cause, that was before before the Bill of Rights, because at one time Catholics wasn't allowed to have guns, Indians wasn't allowed to have guns, and anybody who didn't swear loyalty to the Confederacy, not Confederacy, my bad, um, the colonialists was removed their rights from guns, because honestly they didn't want to go to a battlefield and have to worry about a citizen who sympathizes with the crown and shoot them in the back. And another thing about Biden talking about you can't own a cannon. That's bullshit. There's people out there who owns cannons. There's people out there who owns actual machine guns, because you have to go through a lot of red tape to own a machine gun. Which I hope they find that motherfucker on constitutional too, because I love to own a fucking machine gun. And a lot of people don't know this, but there's people that owns tanks. There is actually one kid who owns a Harrier jet. Hey, sweetheart. For y'all to know, the bookworm is my wife. She said she's listening to. I never heard that. Yeah, well, obviously, yeah, people own. It was something to do with points with some kind of drink or food or some shit, and the ad stated that if they get 10 million of these points, they will get a Harrier. That was the first commercial they did with it to and then they came back with another one stating at the bottom in fine letters saying it was a joke, it wasn't real. Sorry to shake, I'm trying to get my podcast up. I wish I could it stay up. Make a product and provide a service for honest pay. Yeah, I do make honest pay. I do not break any crimes on that. But I have to get the money up to start making my products. I actually got about 3 or 4 knives made already, but that's more of a hobby, not to make money. And didn't mean to get you so triggered. Yeah, you did, dude. Shut the hell up. If you just come in here just an insult, just go on, Hoss. Just go on. I'm trying to have an actual discussion, not someone trying to make fun of me or where someone lives, because it's quite obvious that you're a blue liner, and it's quite obvious that you judge people based on where they live. We got homeless veterans out there who are struggling to fucking survive, and if they end up getting into a trailer, you look down on them because they're in a trailer. It's no crime of being poor to some people. But no, you want to do the unchristian thing and judge people based on where they live. But that's why I want to make a my honest living on firearms. I want to repair them, restore them. I'm also taking engraving classes to engrave buck stocks and barrels with the fleur-de-lis designs and Art Nouveau designs that you see people put on there, the scrolls. Hell, I also want to build a drone for the police to, if it has to, during hostage situations or whatnots, to fly up to windows and shoot the motherfucker. I haven't seen anyone do that yet because honestly, the firearm recoil may take the drone out of flight, but I'm still doing research on that. I've no uh, uh, I know blue liners are red coats. The veterans are red coats. Veterans are not red coats because, like I said, I'm technically veteran. Blind Justice is a veteran. We're not red coats. The politicians are red coats. Some of them, majority of them, yeah. Move your scope back out. We are heading to red coat versus. I think you misspelled that. There is no land of freedom anymore. You're full of shit. Sorry, Green Mirror, I cannot agree with you on most of that statements. Because this is still a freedom. And if you don't believe that this is not a free country, just look to the Second Amendment, Hoss. The Second Amendment's there to keep us free. No, actually, I don't. You actually have a right to exempt yourself from property taxes. Um, Hell, my car next year is not going to be, I won't have property taxes on that. You don't want to be judged, but yet you just judged me. Now, ain't that Christian, isn't it? I didn't judge you. I saw your actions. I saw your statements. And it's plain and clear. I stated facts, not judgment. Shall not be a bridge. Is the bridge? Yes, that's why Supreme Court is ruling on a lot of Second Amendment cases. I understand. Trust me, I understand. We all understand. But I'm not a sovereign citizen. I have to abide by the law, like even the Bible tells me to do, as long as it doesn't go against the Bible. That's why I don't believe in abortion laws. That's going against the Bible. I don't believe in same-sex marriages because it's going against the Bible. It's as simple as that, Hoss. But yes, there are those ways where you don't have to pay property taxes. The way we did it, the property's been in our family for generations. My great grandfather bought this property for my great grandmother and my great grandfather. I agree. They're trying to get rid of paycheck taxes, income taxes. They're trying to get rid of that because it's unconstitutional. Because technically, the only thing they're allowed to tax is anything that's assessed, like overtime pay. Wait. Red coat system, I did it too. I swore the oath. Yep. Stepped up on a free man's land and was told to get off. Was a shocker. Not really, not to me. Not all taxation. Remember, it's taxation without representation. But good try. It's natural truth, just like killing a baby. Yes, that's natural truth. No, I actually got the blue line apart because you judging other people, and then on top of that, your name itself, Alpha 66. So I'm assuming it's your badge number. No, I did not say that. No, actually, I did say that. Yeah, yeah. Because you're judging me, a vet who was homeless. You judged me of being in a trailer. You judged me for being in a trailer. I'm just going by what you're stating to me. It's not judgment. I've been doing this long enough to know when a blue liner is. What is it, Dixie? This is my little girl, Dixie. She's pregnant. Even though she's pretty big, she's actually a Dachshund Chihuahua mix. Apparently, Dachshunds get pretty big. About the size of she's about the size of a corgi, guys. But you know what, Alpha? Kind of correct, and I apologize for making judgments on you. But you also got to understand that your statements is what people see of you, because we don't see you and see your real life actions. All we're getting is the actions of your statements. And you judged me and stated that I lived in. Dude, I said it not too long ago after you made that statement. It's where the homeless vets came from. I told my story of the military. You was here. Or you just backed out and walked and got back in like I think you just did again. I wish this damn thing just stays up. But yeah, let's get back to the topic at hand, because it's coming up to an hour and I'm going to head out because it's coming to an hour. Be careful what you search for on YouTube, or not YouTube, Google, trying to find out what's going on with the assassination attempt, because you'll be red flagged. And that it is not constitutional whatsoever. It's not like I put in wording talking about how to make a bomb. Even though the military has taught me how to make a bomb, but I don't make them. Yeah, if anybody been in the military, most of you before 2010 was taught how to make an MRE bomb. But I'm gonna have to say deuces. Be careful what you search for, because Big Brother's watching. As Green Mirror will say, the redcoats are watching. I agree with that one. That's scream redcoat right there. Another fun fact for people: Paul Revere did not go up and down talking about the English are coming. The English are coming. No, he probably said redcoats, or he probably said the loyalists, because at the time they were all freaking English. So y'all have a blessed day, and I will keep y'all informed on what's going on with that red flag that popped up on me. And I am planning on going to local businesses, not businesses over here, my local government, trying to get new laws put in place. Have you found a Ceratosaurus Rex on YouTube? He is good on the study with a long distance. I'll look into him, see what he is. I never heard of him, but I'll take a look at him. Thank you. Like, subscribe, leave a comment afterwards if you want to, guys. I may not reply. Sometimes I do. Most of the time, it's just a thumbs up or a heart. I tend to don't respond to trolls, so they can say whatever the hell they want. Don't delete them. It's trolls. That's why I didn't kick Alpha 66 out with his statement, because everybody has a voice on my channel. But enough of the politics. Deuces, like, subscribe. Love you guys. Until next time.